guys have done stuff at the Queen Mary here. That is one of my favorite places as well. I grew up here, so I literally did high school prom at the Queen Mary. I
That's
was going to get
amazing.
married. That's the kind of the place, the local place to do things where you came from. But even back then, and I'm talking a long time ago, I remember sneaking away from my prom and getting into where the pool is, the empty indoor pool where the little girl, I saw the little girl goes before I even knew there was a little girl
Oh,
goes.
really?
It's great. And then the Queen Mary took on her own life once the
Sure.
our normal world hit. So what kind of experiences have you guys had there?
Oh boy. Oh boy. This has been like 3 years of telling stories from the Queen Mary because we went in 2019, was it 20? Yeah, to film for our 2020 tour, which obviously you know how that ended. And so we finally just wrapped up that tour at the end of 2022. But yeah, so much happened. I mean, the little
We
girl
actually,
ghost, it just so much.
so you're asking us a question that for years, because our tour, we were trying to keep the location private until people actually saw the show live.
It's like a
So
surprise. Yeah.
and then COVID hit right after we filmed it, and then we had to wait through COVID to be able to show it. So for 3 years, we couldn't say a single thing about the Queen Mary publicly. So now that you're asking about Queen Mary, part of me feels like I'm not supposed to say something. But
It's like the
so
floodgates open. Yeah.
you're asking, it's a very risky question because I might not shut up. But so we went for 2 nights, and the first night, um, we got to go down to the boiler room, and I talked to John Henry, who is said to have died down there when when a pipe burst on him, and he was very, very chatty. We
Mhm.
used basically we just asked yes or no questions, and if the meter moved, we knew it was a yes. And him and I got along really well. We talked a bunch of times throughout the night. We also, in the isolation ward, we got a lot of EVPs of footsteps and throat clearing and high heels walking through the room.
I think
And
the biggest pattern we got, speaking of EVPs, was multiple times throughout the night, we were getting EVPs saying "get out" or "leave"
mhm.
before we got there. So it was like we were walking toward. We had no idea, obviously, at the time, but we'd be like traipsing on in, like not a care in the world, down to the isolation ward. And about 60 seconds before we walked in, you hear a huge male voice scream, "Get out." And then we come waltzing on through. So that seemed to be like, I don't think we were super duper welcome there, which we didn't realize at the time, but that was definitely something we picked up on later.
Yeah, we also so the little girl Jackie, that's said to be the main
Hmm.
haunting of the ship.
Your prom date, Patty, if you
Yeah.
recall.
Yes, my prom day.
Yeah.
Yes. So she's known to also call out for her mommy and daddy. She's also said to maybe not be the purest spirit. There might be some negative energy there. And we definitely sensed that. We got a lot of signs. We stayed in B340, which is the big famous haunted room there. And we stayed overnight, and we ended up getting an EVP clear as day of a little girl saying daddy. Like not even a whisper. It is
We had
like a
to
little
check
kid.
our other cameras so many
Uh-huh.
times to just make sure none of us were saying it because it was so
So
clear.
clear.
Yeah.
Like as loud as I'm talking right now. It was just daddy. And from that point on, for the rest of the night, we started getting EVPs of the same voice that became more garbled and warped, and it really twisted on itself. And I mean, the most intelligent responses from sensors that we've ever gotten were, oh, if you make that meter in the bathroom go off, I'll take a drink, and it would go off. And we played a drinking game with the ghost for like an hour. And
Ah.
We had
anyway,
fun.
I'll
Oh.
stop talking now, but we got a lot.
Yeah, no, it is one of my favorite. I think there's a million things. All the history of it, of course.
Mm.
The
Mhm.
high energy people are excited. The people who cruised on it, and then it was a warship, and a lot of
Sure.
people died as a war. I mean, there's so much history, and then all the focus. I think the fact it is sitting on water, which is going to be a conduit,
Sure.
everything makes it literally like a battery pack.
Mhm.
Mhm.
A really good thing I know, and they were closed, and everybody said it was sinking, but it's not. It's not sinking, and they're opening it. But a really good thing to do. It's a secret. Don't tell anyone.
I
Okay,
won't.
just you and me here.
Yeah, is if you're there. And if you're not, if you're on an investigation grade, they do some. We're lucky enough, like people, to get to do private ones and stuff. When there's 3 people on this whole boat, that in itself is scary. Looking down the
I bet.
aisles when I was with
Forget it.
overnight guys, it's like, Okay. All
Because
right.
then any
And
noise you hear, you can't explain away as
you
being
can't explain
another
away.
guest.
We are the only
Mm-mm.
people here. But what we did with a girlfriend of mine, and I got some of the best video just with a cell phone. It was daytime, so it wasn't late enough to go into the hotel in the afternoon when when it's open again, the maids are changing the rooms.
Yeah.
They like to talk about it. They will go in. What experiences have you had here? And they will let you go in rooms, not rooms that people are still in,
Sure.
but somebody's moved out and they're changing the linens and stuff. They'll come in here and they like to talk about it. You
Wow.
know,
It's a pro
new
tip.
management's coming in, but super pro tip: go talk to the maids at the hotel, and you will get stuff you won't. And my friend and I were just getting all this stuff, and we sat down. And I'm medium. So I was just like, okay, there's somebody right here and there's somebody right here and doing this. And I go, oh, they're walking over by you. My friend Linda, she has it on her cell phone, a shadow person walking, just the
No.
shadow walking right past me like this. It's like, yeah, walking right by. It's just, didn't have
Oh my
equipment, weren't
gosh.
doing anything. It's right
Oh
there
my
in the
gosh.
hallway of the hotel at the Queen
Just
Mary.
blatant.
Yeah. It's like
It was
hanging
a
out.
it was a wild spot. Yeah. I feel like we've looked at other places for future tours and it's just gonna be hard to beat. I don't know. We had a very successful
Yeah.
investigation there.